Hello dear students, welcome back to our English class. In the previous part of Wisdom Paves the Way, we learned how four intelligent young men used their sharp observation and logical thinking to describe a lost camel without ever seeing it. Their remarkable reasoning amazed the king. But what happens next? Will the king believe their explanations? Will the merchant realize his mistake? Let us continue this inspiring story and discover how wisdom, honesty, and intelligence are rewarded. Before we begin today's lesson, let us quickly recall what we learned in the previous class. Listen carefully and think before you answer. Are you ready? Let us begin. What had the merchant lost? He had lost his camel. Why did the merchant come to the king's court? The merchant came to seek justice because his camel had gone missing. Why were the four young men brought before the king? They were brought before the king because the merchant suspected them of stealing his camel. Did the four young men actually see the camel? No, they had never seen the camel. How were they able to describe the camel without seeing it? They carefully observed the footprints and other clues on the path and used logical reasoning. What clues did Ramdutt, Shivdutt and Hardutt observe? They observed the camel's footprints, the grass it had eaten, and small blood spots, which helped them understand the camel's condition. Why did the merchant think the four young men were thieves? He thought they were thieves because they knew many details about the camel without having seen it. What quality helped the four young men solve the mystery? Their sharp observation, intelligence, and logical reasoning helped them solve the mystery. Excellent. Your answers show that you remember the previous lesson well. Now let us continue the story and find out what happens next. Hardutt. I noticed small droplets of blood along the track, likely from mosquito bites. A camel with a long tail would have fended off these pests with ease. These small specks told me of an animal lacking such defense, hence the short tail. King, impressed. You reasoned with great insight, showing both observation and deduction. Turning to Devdutt. And you, what did you observe that set you apart from your companions? Devdutt. I noticed, Your Majesty, that the prints of the camel's forefeet were deep and clear, while those of the sound hind foot were faint. This indicated that the camel was drawing up its hind legs, likely due to discomfort. It moved cautiously, burdened by a pain in its belly, trying to spare itself further suffering with every step. King, marveling, extraordinary. You have not seen the camel, yet you know it intimately. Your reasoning is flawless and speaks of wisdom that goes beyond mere sight. Turning to the merchant. Your accusations are baseless and misguided. These are men of wisdom, not thieves. Go and continue your search for your camel, and be mindful of whom you accuse in the future. The merchant chastened and embraced, bowed deeply and exist, his face red with shame. King, to the four men. You have demonstrated remarkable intelligence and the ability to see beyond the obvious. Such minds are rare and highly valued in my court. I extend you to the honor of becoming my advisors. Your counsel shall guide my decisions, and your wisdom shall be a beacon for my kingdom. What do you say to my offer? Ramdutt, stepping forward. Your Highness, it is an honor we had not dared to dream of. Shivdutt, we are humbled and deeply grateful for your trust in our abilities. Hardutt, to serve a wise and just ruler like yourself is a privilege we accept with all our hearts. Devdutt, We shall dedicate ourselves to your service, offering our insights and counsel in all matters you see fit. King, rising from his throne. Then let it be known across the kingdom that 4 new advisors stand by my side. May your wisdom shine upon Ujjain and guide us to prosperity. The court erupts in apology as the king steps down to greet his new advisors. The 4 men stand proud and humbled, their journey fulfilled in a manner they had never anticipated. Dear students, every lesson introduces us to new and interesting words. Now let us begin our journey of new words and their meanings. Fended off, protected from. An umbrella fended off the rain. Specks, teeny spots. There were teeny specks of dust on the table. Insight, deep understanding. My teacher gave me insight into the lesson. Sound, healthy. My grandmother is sound and active. Intimately, in great detail. I know my best friend intimately. Flawless, perfect. She gave a flawless dance performance. Chanced, feeling sorry after a mistake. Rahul felt chanced after telling a lie. Counsel, advice. My father gave me good counsel before the exam. Beacon, a guiding light. Our teacher is a beacon for all students. Now write the tense of the following sentences. I noticed small droplets of blood. Simple past tense. Your reasoning speaks of wisdom. Simple present tense. We shall dedicate ourselves to your service. Simple future tense. The king extends the honor. Simple present tense. The merchant bowed deeply. Simple past tense. Great. We have learned the new words and their meanings. Now let us understand the lesson in a simple and interesting way. Listen carefully and enjoy the story. Hardat respectfully said, Your Majesty, I noticed teeny drops of blood on the path. A camel with a long tail could easily drive away mosquitoes. These blood spots told me that the camel had a short tail. The king smiled with admiration. Excellent, Hardat. Your keen observation and logical thinking reveal true wisdom. Now, Devdat, tell me what you observed. Devdat stepped forward and said, Your Majesty, the front footprints were deep, but the hind footprints were light. This showed that the camel was suffering from stomach pain and was walking carefully to avoid more pain. The king declared, These young men are wise, not thieves. Your accusations were false. Feeling ashamed, the merchant bowed his head and apologized. The king said, Your intelligence is a treasure to my kingdom. I invite all 4 of you to become my royal advisors and guide my decisions with your wisdom. Ramdat, Shivdat, Hardat and Devdat accepted the king's offer with gratitude. They promised to serve the kingdom honestly and faithfully. The king proudly announced, From today these 4 wise men will stand beside me as my advisors. May their wisdom bring peace and prosperity to our kingdom. The entire court erupted in apology. Now it is your turn. Work together in your groups, discuss your ideas, listen to one another and complete the activities with confidence. Remember, teamwork and logical thinking lead to success. Let us begin. Group activities. Role play. Develop speaking and communication skills. Divide the class into groups of 6. Assign the roles King, Merchant, Ramdat, Shivdat, Hardat and Devdat. Each group performs the dialogue from the page with proper expressions and gestures. Now let us check our understanding of the lesson with some short questions and answers. Listen carefully, think about each question and try to answer before I reveal the correct answer. Let us begin. Who explained the reason for the blood spots on the path? Hardat. What did Hardat observe? He observed teeny drops of blood on the path. What did Hardat conclude about the camel? He concluded that the camel had a short tail. Why could the camel not drive away the mosquitoes? Because it had a short tail. Who spoke after Hardat? Devdutt. What did Devdutt observe? He observed that the front footprints were deeper than the hind footprints. What did Devdutt conclude from the footprints? He concluded that the camel had stomach pain and walked carefully. How did the king react to the explanations? The king praised the wisdom of the four young men. What did the merchant do after hearing the truth? He felt ashamed and apologized. What offer did the king make to the four young men? He offered them the positions of royal advisors. Excellent students. Now it is time for classwork. Read each question carefully, think about the story and write your answers in your notebook. Fill in the blanks. Hardat noticed small dash on the tracks. Blood specks. Devdutt observed the camel's dash. Footprints. The king offered the four young men the post of dash. Advisors. The merchant felt dash after the king's judgment. Ashamed. Wisdom and dash lead to justice. Observation. Now it is time for homework. Write true or false. Hardat noticed blood specks on the track. Devdutt said the camel was completely healthy. The king believed the merchant's false accusation. The merchant felt ashamed and left the court. The king appointed the four young men as his advisors. Now it is time for a fun project work activity. Draw or paste a picture of a camel, write your observations and explain how careful observation helps us in everyday life. Be creative, keep your work neat and enjoy learning through this activity. Let us extend our learning beyond the classroom. Observe any animal or bird near your home or school. Write 5 observations about its appearance and behavior. This story teaches us that careful observation, logical thinking, honesty and wisdom always earn respect and success. Let us use these qualities in our own lives every day. All the best. Thank you.